If you've ever played Returnal, then you know how it's a fantastic combination of roguelike mechanics, a AAA quality world and story building, excellent suspense thriller, all in one. When you're not dodging a string of enemy attacks and fighting mini-bosses, you're exploring an alien world trying to unravel the mystery of why you're looping. Having crash-landed on this planet, you start out with nothing, but over time, slowly integrate strange xenotechnology into your suit and into yourself. As you slowly unlock more permanent upgrades to your suit, you're also slowly unlocking more of your memories and recordings of alternate realities. But as I played Returnal for the first time, despite its setting and world being totally alien to me, I found myself feeling like it was somewhat familiar. Why did it feel like I knew this place? What was that strange sense of empathy that I had? Eventually I realized that Returnal tells you a far greater story than what you think. It tells you a story of self-loathing. You see, self-loathing can start from something very small repeated multiple times, or a big mistake you cannot seem to let go. When you look at the game, you look at the game mechanics, look at how everything is laid out. Maybe you feeling like, hey, I've lost to the same boss or mini boss over and over again. It's something small, or even something smaller than that. Oops, I fell off a ledge or got hit by this trap. Small things. Gosh, like how am I this bad? Maybe it's a big mistake you can't let go of. Now, in Returnal, there's something far deeper happening to the main protagonist. She's not only repeating a cycle there, but there's something deeper that's happened in her past. A big mistake she can't seem to let go of. Not only repeating those small mistakes within each loop, but having to repeat those big mistakes, like in the dreams or whenever she wakes up from a crash. She's having to repeat these things over and over. How many times have you done something you weren't supposed to, or didn't do something that you were, just kept repeating it over and over in your head? Probably didn't feel too good for your self-image. So that's how something small can slowly build from oops, I made a mistake, to I am a mistake. Or maybe you made a big mistake in the past. Something you think you cannot come back from. And you keep repeating that over and over again. You start to lose hope. Not only have you lost confidence in yourself, but you lost hope in your future because you think everything is going to be the same as it was in the past. Self-loathing creates a vicious cycle of negative feedback loop that can make you feel trapped, much like the protagonist feels trapped in the game. In fact, the entire point of the game is to try to figure out how to get off the planet. And for you, as a player, one, how to get off the planet, and two, what's going on with the protagonist. What are these hidden things that she keeps seeing? Now for me internally, like I said at the very beginning, there's a piece of empathy there because I know myself, I've been in one of those moments. I just kept reliving something, couldn't let it go, fear crept in. Then every time I tried to do something new, that same fear would bring me back into a cycle. And then that cycle would lead to more fear, and so on and so forth. Then you have kind of like a downward spiral. The crazy thing too is, what a lot of people don't think about, and neither did I, was how it's actually that repetition isn't just purely psychological. You're not just emotionally and mentally playing it over and over again. You're actually training your brain to create neural pathways, almost like a map, taking your thought from point A to point B. And the thing is, if you're not intentional, you'll be constantly taking that negative route. When you take that negative route, you just hit more negative along the way. That builds up even more negative. And then you have a highway of negativity. All of that happening after failure. I know we've talked about failure before on the channel a couple of times. Now we're getting real deep into it to where each failure, if you're not taking care of it in the appropriate way, seeing it as a way to learn as opposed to I am a failure now, allows you to be more intentional with it. Then you start taking the right path, getting you to the right goal. Because you stop looking at it as a failure to the point to where, oh, you can't do any better. To where you start seeing it as a way to learn, to get you to where you're trying to actually get to. Now, to really begin breaking that cycle, the number one thing you're going to have to learn is how to let go. Now, you might be able to let go of the big issue in one fell swoop, or you might have to take it time after time after time. Much like it took you repetition to get down deep into that negative self-spiral, you have to repeat it over and over again. Much like how you repeated yourself into a negative downward spiral, you're going to start slowly repeating yourself up to a positive spiral. You still can't do that until you learn to let everything go. In fact, even in the game, the protagonist is holding on to something. She just doesn't want to let that go. There's something in there. When she learns to let it go, then she can start moving forward. And over time, near the end, I imagine she'll find a way to let go of the planet entirely. Now for you, what's the thing that you need to let go of? Once you figure that out, you can start working on it to slowly let it go over time. And just let what was in the past stay in the past. Don't let what's in the past determine your future. Now another thing that can help you with the self-loathing spiral is reversing isolation. I don't know about you, but for me, when I start getting a little bit negative and it starts to spiral down, I tend to isolate myself, hide myself away. But since isolation is what can make self-loathing even worse, well, what's the opposite of isolation? It's community. If you want to learn more about that, I do have another video for that. However, for right now, just remember, when in doubt, when in those times of, man, am I good enough? I don't think I'm good enough. Man, I'm a failure. I'm a mistake. Bring it up to somebody. Get into a community. Help them help you, and to break that cycle. Because when you have someone in from the outside, come in on that situation, then they can help you through it. But guess what? It's going to take vulnerability. Now, who wants to be vulnerable? I know at first I didn't. But vulnerability will let you pull the mistake out from you and air that thing out. Air out the guilt and the shame. And when you start feeling that guilt and shame, as you start airing out, hey, that's actually a good thing. It might not feel like it, but as you're airing it out, you'll feel those feelings, guilt and shame, and realize that shame says you are a mistake, which is the biggest lie you'll tell yourself. And guilt just says, I've made a mistake. Let this show me where I can go and fix it. You can't get there until you air out, hey, I made a really bad mistake. Tell somebody. Maybe even just say it out loud. Maybe look yourself in the mirror and just get deep down honest with yourself. Now we've talked a lot about self-loathing and how to get over it. So first you got to identify when you start falling into that. When you start letting things in life and those negative emotions hit you left and right with anything they got. Then we're going to look at, how do we fix this? How do we begin to break this cycle? We got to let go. We got to let go whatever happened in the past as much as we can. Then we're going to make sure we don't isolate. We got to get into community, talk to somebody, talk to yourself, bring it out, air it out. Then you got to keep getting vulnerable and keep getting deep. And as you do all these things and you realize, hey, you don't need to choose to hate yourself, but you can choose to start appreciating yourself. Understanding that you are not your past and your past does not dictate your future. So hopefully something there helped y'all. If you're sitting there in that negative spiral right now, go ahead and just start today. Start letting it go. Start talking. Start airing it out. Start getting vulnerable. In the end, when you start spiraling upwards, you're going to feel good about it. You're going to get off that planet of self-loathing that you put yourself on and blast off to new heights. So if you liked what you saw, if you liked what you heard, if you got something out of it, most importantly, go ahead and crash land onto the like button. And if you're looking for more ways to master the art of living to the fun of gaming, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss an upload. Let me know in the comments one thing that you can do today to help pull yourself out of a self-loathing spiral. And if you're already on an upward spiral, go ahead and let everyone know how you can maintain it and even grow it. Hope you got something out of this. Go out there, be impactful, be excited for life, and most importantly, be loving, be kind. And I'll see you next time.